Yo, you listening to the Oprah Rose Show with TT and Gigi, and yeah, get it poppin'.
Thoughts. Everything begins with thoughts.
She's a slut, she's a hoe, she's this, she's that.
We say to girls, you can have ambition, but not too much.
It's about people being uncomfortable with women owning their sexuality.
What is the truest, highest vision that you hold for yourself?
I'm a real ass bitch, and I'm gonna get everything that I'm gonna get on my own.
I know for sure. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you believe.
I'm so happy to see people I like. Hey guys.
What's up? What's up?
Hello.
I'm TT.
I'm Gigi.
And I'm Dee.
And this is episode 166 of the Oprah Rose Show.
167, sis.
I said 166. Sorry, 167. We decided to do a release a day early and release an episode on the day of election. Today. So we're releasing obviously a day early. I feel like people have been kind of bombarded with information, have not, or maybe you don't know. I think someone tweeted that, they get all their information from G's segment as it relates to politics. So we wanted to do, kind of like an episode geared towards the election day. Obviously, it can be a lot, and there can be a lot of anxiety tied into today. So, take your time and be patient and graceful with yourself also as we all go through this.
Yeah.
So we're just here to, provide a little bit more insight on and expound upon our politics as usual segment.
Yeah, it's been a while since we really talked about politics. Obviously, it's been a lot going on in the world. It's just been crazy to see, especially with COVID hitting, just how things have kind of transpired in this country. And more than ever, politics is kind of like on Front Street in a way, where even I feel like a lot of people look at politics completely different than they had previously. Like, people think of politics now as more like a joke. Like, we watched the debates and it felt like Bad Girls Club or Real Housewives or something like that. It didn't feel real. But it is real. And this is the time to really like get out there and like make a difference, because voting matters. Like, if we saw anything from 2016, like, y'all know I loved my girl Hillary, like we would be in a different world had she have been president. It's crazy to see.
Yeah, I agree. And then when you think about even with COVID and how you would think that for a global pandemic, something where people are actually dying from, that would have created some unity, some cross-collaborative working effort between the two polarizing parties. And it went the exact opposite. One uses it, both parties are using it as leverage, for their campaign. One ignores it completely, even though the White House was a whole ass hotspot, and the other leverages it for their benefit as well. And we still have yet to have a new stimulus package approved and submitted. So really, the American people got $1,200 to survive for 7 months, some 8 months, depending on what state you lived in and when your lockdown started.
That's
and it's fucking crazy.
$1,200.
And all of that is because of our political overarching agenda for the United States. It's really sad.
Yeah, like you shouldn't politicize. Yes, that's the word. You shouldn't politicize a pandemic. Like, what?
Right.
Like, that shouldn't be like, the whole like mask mandate, like, and even
Hold on, sorry, I don't want to cut your thought off real quick.
Yeah, it's okay.
But I want to introduce real quick our guest, because I feel like we're about to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, we about to go. Pin that.
Get our guests in here. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, pin that thought. You were right on masks. I felt like it was about to go. So I just, we wanted to add another voice to the conversation. So we have our a friend of the show, our political pundit, as I keep calling her, Artesia. She does not want that to be her introduction, But Artesia, if you can provide just a little bit of background on yourself.
Yes, thank you. Such a long time listener. Glad to be with you guys. Political pundit, probably not, more of a citizen of the world and a cultural observer. And I did study public policy at Duke University. So I am.
Obviously, she's giving us Wendy, y'all.
Yes. So I'm very much of the mind to be paying attention, and have just always been a nerd of information. I could always tell you something about politics and this country. But also as a film, television, and video producer, part of my job is to always be paying attention to what's happening, because a lot of that resonates in the work that I'm constantly doing as a mirror to the rest of the world and country. So I'm constantly taking this stuff in, and have the ability to translate it for folks who don't know. One of the things I just wanted to go back to what Dee said about like us watching the debates and joking about it. And there was a part of me that was like, you know what, I'm glad people are tuning in, right? Because for a long time, we couldn't get people to be very much interested in these things that were important. But now we are at this point in the road, regardless of what happens on election day and so forth, is that we now have to have an informed electorate, right? We need to make sure that people actually know the things. And there's so many things that just civics that people don't know about. So a goal of mine is to be educating and to be sharing a lot of this information that I read in encyclopedias when I was a little kid. So that's why I'm here today.
Shout out to
Is that for fun?
encyclopedias.
Yeah, I'm like, was that what you did for fun, or was that like a punishment?
It's what I did for fun, guys.
Oh,
wow. My mom was like, I bought those encyclopedias, you better read them. And I was like, well, fine.
Oh yeah, no, same. And then some letters had multiple books.
Multiple books, right?
It was letter A. It was like 5 different books. It's like, damn.
M had a lot of books too. Like it was like 2 or 3 volumes to
I was with you, sis. I had them in the closet.
My grandma got them encyclopedias, and I have no clue. But now I'm gonna go, the next time I go home, I'm gonna go look and see all the books that she has and how many letters have how many books. Because
the second to last one is the atlas, and the last one is always the index.
Come on.
Yeah. All right. I'm the resident nerd for today's
girl. Come on, Wendy. That's gonna be your nickname for this show.
Shout out to Real Housewives of Potomac if you wasn't following the joke.
I'm 3 episodes behind.
Child,
that's all right.
Well, let me be clear.
The grand dame.
Well, let me be clear. But yes, mask. I think we were talking about mask and like the fact that that man, that fucking orange tangerine, had used having COVID as a way to get people on his side. Like the jury's still out if he had COVID or not. No shade.
Yeah.
And I ain't even going to get there. But like today, if you are, standing in line, take a chair, read a book. I appreciate the people who have already voted. People have been voting in record numbers. I think they were saying like this was the most that people voted in early elections.
Yes.
Ever.
Yeah, we're already, as of 7:30 Eastern on election eve, we're at 70% of our 2016 number, and that's for the entire election. 70% of the vote of the people who voted in 2016
in the
United States have already voted.
Wow!
So the turnout is incredible, and that's exciting to me, because also for all of you folks who identify as Democrats or on the left of the spectrum, we know that high turnout benefits Democrats and left-leaning politics, because we actually do represent a larger proportion of society.
Yeah, because Democrats are more like that working society that like doesn't take time off to do anything. And so voting is along with probably the top of that list to take off to do anything. Whereas like those red states have the time in a sense where they can go stand in line and vote for a long time. But it's just amazing to see, like, and today, we remember how 2016 was, and the day was pretty somber. And I have a friend, his name is Isaiah. He does a podcast, How to Juggle the Struggle. And so today he had sent out 5 affirmations. And so like, if you're feeling anxious and uncertain about today, we all get it. However, it's great to find joy and peace knowing no matter what today holds, we know who we hold accountable. And that's something to shout about. So the 5 were, I am divinely protected and healthy. Daily, I am surrounded by peace. My steps are ordered by God. I am connected to the source. Therefore, I will always prosper. And finally, I am fulfilled with love. I receive love and share love from a pure heart. And so if you repeat those things today,
and every day, I was like, low key, I needed them today. Okay.
Because it ain't that peaceful. So not that peaceful.
I prayed so hard for my sanity this week, and I'm not even talking about elections. So
it's
like,
real.
I need that.
I will share this note with you, T, because he did a good job. Shout out to Isaiah again. He actually put some Bible scriptures, some scriptures in here as well to go with each of the 5 affirmations.
Come on, Lord.
Come working.
Come on.
Very good. I'm agnostic, so I don't know if these apply to me.
It's all right, baby. I mean, you know what?
I'm agnostic.
Look at me, and I'm all like, what that mean again? You don't believe in the Jesus Christ and his Savior? It's like
I might be agnostic. What that mean?
I don't really believe in Jesus Christ. I kind of believe in it all.
Okay. Yeah, then I'm agnostic.
Yeah.
okay. That thing. Okay.
Yeah, I believe in it all too. I'm not going to tell somebody that they're wrong for their belief system.
No, never. I would never do that. I think we all speak to a God, and whoever that God is what will get you through.
I think I said the universe one time, and someone corrected me, and I was like, I said what I said. Okay, shit. I said the damn universe, and it's going to be the universe.
You know, Jesus is of the universe, right? He's
of the universe.
Of the universe.
Yeah. So, you know, whatever your beliefs are, use today as that opportunity to connect to that higher power to really get through this, because we will get through it.
As we shall. So, I mean, obviously, as I said before, it's just so much to delve into, and we would be here for a whole week if we talked about all the shits. So I guess, top line for our listeners, what, and I'm learning, y'all. So I'm looking at y'all. I'm looking at Dee, Artesia, G. Like, what are the most, I feel like, important things that we should know about this election?
I'll start.
Very loaded, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, there was a push. I don't know if you guys are getting all the like text messages and phone calls from all.
Oh my God.
Donating.
Mail blasts.
I can't wait for Jamie Harrison to stop texting me. But
look, girl, JT been texting me talking about, mind you, he spelled his name Jay space Tee, and I was like, nah, that's computer generated, because he wouldn't spell it like that.
But one of the things that I've taken from those pushes is to always be reaching out to your friends and family and asking them if they have their plan for voting. And in those conversations, I have encountered folks who are like, oh, voting doesn't change anything, and my vote doesn't matter. And, one of the things that I've been able to counter to them is like, okay, so what do you care about locally for your community, wherever you are? And they, say some things they care about. And I'm like, okay, you care about police reform. Well, your attorney, it looks like your county's voting on attorney general, or, the top cop, right? District attorney, excuse me. So that's very important to the police reform movement, or Supreme Court judges, as we're voting on here in New York City. And then also these very important Senate races. Like, there are some really
and it's Supreme Court justices for the state of New York.
For the state of New York,
right.
Not as civic lessons.
Because only the highest ranking Supreme Court in the judicial system, the president can appoint. Right. Just for clarifications.
Right. And then the Senate votes on them. Yes.
Which also, low-key, is so crazy to me. Like, people that are presiding and making decisions on I was not even in the majority, on the people, the citizens, and we pay you, but a very small group of people are saying who can hold that office for the rest of the year. Like
Rest of their lives.
Their lives.
I'm sorry. Yes, correct. Rest
Yeah.
of their lives. Like that is fucking insane. Like someone that is 80 years old or whatever, like to be able to still make decisions based on how 80 years ago or 60 years ago, whatever the fuck it is. Like you're not even the same person. That is absolutely insane to me.
Absolutely. And we're always at the mercy of their death, right?
Yes.
So like we were held very hostage by Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying. Like people were like, drink your green juice, RBG. And I'm like, that's not even funny. Like, why can't she go and retire and rest? Like,
because that was a thing. Like,
drink your green juice.
Right. I saw those tweets all over, like, drink your green juice, RBG. And I'm like, okay, well.
Meanwhile, Mama was healthier than probably all four of us.
Right.
She had multiple bouts with cancer. And I even read that Obama was trying to get her to retire. And she didn't want to do it.
She didn't want it.
And she should have.
Well, she also thought that Hillary would win.
Right.
And she would be able to retire and then have the first woman president replace her seat. And it didn't happen like that.
It didn't happen.
She had to fight through it.
And then she didn't want to retire in his presidency.
So I'm sure every day she was drinking her green juice, right? Like, and just trying to hold on. But yeah, we're at the mercy of either them stepping down, deciding to retire, or dying. So that's actually something that people have been pushing Joe Biden about. So when you keep hearing them asking him about packing the courts, it's really about like what his plan is to get rid of that rule. Like, is he gonna push for more judges to be added? If there is, the Constitution actually doesn't dictate how many Supreme Court justices there should be. And there have been times when we've had less, and there have been times when we had more.
I didn't know that. I always thought it was supposed to be the same number.
Oh, we've had less and we've had more. We've had an even number. So yeah, there are a couple of times when, you know, they've actually had to go in and add
So what would be the process to pack the court? Would he, since there isn't a specification in the Constitution, would he need to go through Congress? Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously they still have to approve, but does he need to go through Congress, like approve Congress would need to approve his elect, but would he need to go through Congress first to make like the request to add another person?
The power actually relies on Congress. So it's an idea from him. He can then sign off on it afterwards.
Now, would it include all of Congress, or like would it just be exclusive to the Senate, like approving the next Supreme Court justice?
It's the Senate. I believe the Senate, because they have the powers of appointing judges or approving judges. So I believe it's the Senate. Somebody can correct me afterwards, but the power to add those seats relies with the Senate, with Congress as a body, which is another reason why winning these Senate races is super important to us as well. Because then we actually would have, and I say we generally, right? Because I do identify on the left, but you know, whether I'm a Democrat,
same girl, same.
Who on the ticket right now, right?
Like,
who's on the ticket?
Green Party,
right?
It's definitely giving Green Party over here.
Really, you know, a little DSA going on, but there's actually bipartisan support for term limits. There's bipartisan support for a couple of measures that would keep the Supreme Court in check, because the Supreme Court has become a bit too partisan for people. So I think if I'm reading these like white papers the way I'm supposed to, it seems that people are leaning more toward, or the Senate is leaning more toward adding term limits before they add more seats to it.
Okay.
But you know what? At this point, fuck the whole shit up. Like, add as many as you want. I don't care. Blow it up. As somebody said, I don't know, nominate Cardi B to run for her on the Supreme Court. I don't care.
I mean, because you got to think about it. Like, the fact, I mean, they in the debates they were saying like things being on the ballot. And the fact that women's reproductive rights are like a part of like the reason why people don't want Amy Barrett to be on the Supreme Court is like, why are we still talking about this?
Right. This was decided.
This was decided. Why are we talking about overturning Roe versus Wade? Like, what?
You know, I honestly hate that is the angle, that's the approach. Like, I feel like that because patriarchy is so strong in the world. Fuck America. Patriarchy is so strong in the world that no one that isn't even an argument that's viable to me.
Yeah.
No.
Like it needs to really be about the fact that we don't take care of the people, the kids in the world that we have.
Right.
The fact that we only care about pro-life while the baby's cooking. We don't give a fuck about them once they're here.
Nope.
And all of that shows. And I just feel like if that was the way of which all of this uproar was rooted in, like if it was truly, granted, women's reproductive rights are incredibly important. Like, I'm a woman, you know, and I believe in abortion, birth control, all of that shit. Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do with your body, you know, is your choice.
I'm
supportive of that. I just don't think that argument alone is what's going to win this.
No.
Yeah. And the other thing that's confusing to me is that the conservatives who are, you know, pro-life, they are pro my rights for everything else, right?
Right.
Like, don't take away my guns. I should stand my ground and shoot you.
Yep.
You know, I should be able to do it whatever I want, whenever I want to do it. But there's this like one thing that's like, no, but I don't want y'all to be able to do that. Which I'm now, you know, learning that's actually like co-opted by the evangelical.
Yep. Around the 70s when that came into play.
Yeah, like the 70s, the evangelical portion of the conservative part of the spectrum took that over. So I actually know like lots of conservatives who are pro-choice, right? Because
I think even Donald Trump was one years ago before he became a politician. He was pro-choice. As a Republican.
I'm sure he's had to use that choice.
Yeah, he's had to use it plenty of times. I'm sure.
Right,
all of them motherfuckers had to use it. That's the gag. That's the whole tea. They had to use it for their mistresses on the hill or their daughters. Like one or the other, I'm sure.
Absolutely did.
Which, like you said, is so crazy that it's so easy that you can take a life and the stand your ground rule and you can have all these rules but when it comes to the issue of choice over a woman's body, it's something that in 2020 we're still debating. Like that is absolutely insane. Even just back to the whole like gun issue. Like, I'm someone that hates guns, don't like them. Child, I'm about to be at the shooting range.
Oh yeah.
Let me get my shit. Let me get my. I have actually, and even on my timeline, like I have seen so many people with like an arsenal of weapons, basically, like gearing up for this week and today, essentially. That
no more record number of black market guns now.
There's a record number of gun sales going on right now.
Oh, like, yeah.
Walmart had to pull guns off the shelf.
I did see that they suspended sales them. Yeah, because they were like flying off, so they suspended them. Which does the Walmart insurance? They don't sell. No, I ain't never seen guns at Walmart.
They don't have guns at the Walmart.
Not on the East Coast. Like you got to go below the Mason-Dixon line. They sell them in Indiana at the Walmart.
Which I hear that them selling it in Indiana is why Chicago has the gun problem that it has. But that's just something I read. I don't know.
Yeah, that sound about right.
Oh my God, we just got on a tangent. I was supposed to talk about some Senate races. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
No, this is
the show.
Okay, so there's some Senate races that we should definitely be paying attention to right now. And in my brain is like these Senate races are also important because if people are voting straight down the Democratic ticket, that means that that state is also like in play for the presidential race. So Georgia with Ossoff, which have y'all seen his campaign merch? I love his campaign merch.
I haven't.
It says vote your Ossoff. Because it's last
okay.
And I was like, can somebody please send me one of those?
You got a Gen Z on the campaign.
So cute, right? He definitely does. Merch design.
Social the social directors or whatever the fuck they called on these campaigns are like, the fact that they had like merch after the debate with the fly and shit like that, like
Yeah.
Right.
5 minutes up. I said, give them all a raise. So go on.
You should hire them. You should hire them.
Low key, I was like, nah, I gotta get in touch with one of these people. I need them to do some campaigns for work. Not even low key, high key. I was literally thinking that.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they all came from entertainment and went over to politics. That happened after 2016. Okay, so Georgia actually has 2 Senate races. They have a regular election with Ossoff running against, what is his name? David Perdue. And Ossoff is running a really good campaign. And then they have a special election, which has some very weird provisions to it because the seat was vacated by the senator who got caught with inside trading. So
yeah. And wait, why didn't the girl, why didn't she go? She's not a senator, she's in the House. But she's in Georgia too. I can't think of her name. Younger white woman. But she, I guess maybe hers wasn't as bizarre as his, but she definitely moved her money too.
She did, and then she talked wild crazy. She talked wild crazy at people on the Twitters, and I was like,
"Yep, on the Twitter, she sure was."
Oh, so she Republican, got it.
Yes, so she didn't go, but then the guy who was the senator went too. So the special election is not going to be decided for some time because they have like runoff rules. Another one is North Carolina. And because I did go to Duke University, I do pay attention a lot to North Carolina. The thing about their Senate race is the Democrat Cal Cunningham, who's running against the Republican Tom Tillis. He had a minor sex scandal. He was sexting one of his like campaign employees. Staffers, and it didn't even move the needle. Like nobody cared, and everybody thought that people were gonna care that he was sexting, and it like y'all don't know. You like,
yeah, I mean the sitting president said on entertainment news that he grabs women by the pussy, and here we are, and that was on during the campaign trail. So
here we are. So we're really like, we don't care, like whatever. He was sexting somebody. He apologized, but that race is being looked at because again, North Carolina is a toss up for Biden. So the assumption is that if people are voting straight down the ticket, they're voting for Biden. They're also voting Democrat on that senator. We also have Alabama, which Alabama is like so weird to me because Doug Jones, remember he beat the pedophile dude last time in the special election.
Oh yes.
Pedophile. And now he's, defending that seat, and he's running against the former like football coach. So, Alabama loves their football as they do in the South. So it's a really tough race for Doug Jones. And then in South Carolina, we have our friend who texts us every doggone day. Like seriously.
I donated to his campaign, child, and I have not been, and they haven't stopped texting me since.
Every day.
Like, I can't even vote in your state. I just saw you was up in the polls, dog. Like
right. every day. But the thing about it though, to sum up this whole portion on these important Senate races, there are a couple more, but what we've seen is just historic fundraising for these senators across the country, like lots of out-of-state money. When Mitch McConnell decided that he was going to vote or put Amy Coney Barrett up for the for Supreme Court, and they were going to actually hold a vote on it. We saw historic numbers against his opponent. Jamie has just raised so much money. Like you said, you donated to him, I donated to him. And as I can tell from the jokes on Twitter, so many people have donated to him because we keep getting text messages every day. So I think with voter turnout being historic and small donations from across the country, we are witnessing something very historic in our election process. So
I
go up.
love that.
What I do hope is that, it's like, remember all of like the firestorm when Obama was first elected. So remember in 2008, it was like, you could feel it. You could feel the energy. And then, not even that, but maybe that, like, you get comfortable and you get complacent and you're like, remember, no one ever thought Donald Trump would ever win the election. And the fact that, we're in 2020 and it's so close is even insane to speak about. I mean, like you said, I remember being on the train and just like looking at people like, you probably voted for Donald Trump. And me, even being at work, like being like, I can't really be here. Like this is.
People were crying. Like I remember riding that train the next day and there was like a white man sitting across from me who was about my age and his eyes are red and puffy. And then there was like a Black woman and her child who looked to be West Indian, because I can always identify my people, I can see us. And she's crying. And then like somebody else like over here to the left of me is crying. And I just like lost it. It was just like weeping on the train. And at the moment, I didn't really understand what I was weeping about. Like I didn't know what I was so sad about.
Grief was in the air, baby.
Ooh,
I heavy.
My mom said it felt like the day after 9/11.
It felt just like that. Or even 9/11 now when you're on the train. Like it still kind of has that somber feeling. New York,
I remember I was at Serafina grabbing some lunch to go. And there was these two white dudes sitting at the bar and they were talking about how they voted for Trump and how they were happy. And they were like, I mean, I don't understand why people are angry. Like I voted for Obama, but now it's time for Trump. It was just like and I was just so like, how the fuck did you get there? Like how you vote for Obama in 2008 or whatever. And then 8 years later, you fucking vote for Trump? Like I just could not understand that.
I need to see the like data science on that. Are these like diverse people, or like are they the ones that like jump out of plane? Like I just want to understand like the psyche of somebody who's like, I voted for Obama and I voted for Trump.
I also think it's just group think is so real. It's like it's almost like this esoteric thing that you might not really be able to like pinpoint. But like that shit is really real. I remember sitting on the train and it was two white guys and they were talking about literally like the climate at their jobs. I'm sorry, it was it was a white man and a white woman. And the white guy was like, and that I'm assuming they were in finance just because I make assumptions all the time about people. And he was just like, all of us, we voted for Trump. Like it wasn't anything. And she was on the opposing side. It's just like I remember turning up my music and I was like, I cannot hear this. Like I could not function at work. Like I don't want to hear this on the train. And I don't know. I think Trump does what Trump does best. He's not smart. He's not good with his finances. He's not good with money. Like what he can do is rile people up and he can get people on his side to say, oh, actually, there's something in you that I see and I believe, and I'm going to follow you.
Which is like sick though, because when you talk about getting people riled up, if you listen to his like campaign trail and like what he's talking about, is literally watching fucking WWE and like a wrestler in the middle of the ring talking.
It's entertainment, that's what he does best, and it extends beyond class, right? You can have. Poor ass white people need to realize that they like the black people. Like
they don't realize it.
Yeah. They'd rather keep that level, that barrier between. They have to be better than somebody. Yeah. So it's like if I can't be rich, then let me at least be better than
my skin color is going to be exactly. That is still something that is superior
than people of color.
Yeah. When it's like a lot of these laws and legislations you could probably benefit from. Let's be very clear. I watch My 600-Pound Life and everyone's poor as fuck on there. Okay. A whole other conversation. But like then you have obviously your rich white people. So that's what I'm saying. And then when you have like, Latinos for Trump and like blacks for Trump and all these things. And I'm like, how can anybody like even, oh my God, the celebrity endorsements, like y'all know,
I was going to ask y'all about that.
The celebrity endorsements. First of all, I don't give a fuck what Weezy F Baby has to say about anything as pertains to politics. Right. So every time I kept seeing the pictures, I don't even have a clue of what apparently like a white police officer saved his life. That's the only thing I know.
He can't even vote.
He can't even vote.
he probably hasn't voted, right? That's the other thing. Like when Kanye said he had never voted in his life, and he said that with his chest, I'm like,
he was on my ballot for California, by the way.
I did see that. I saw somebody, they must have had a mail-in ballot and posted it.
Yeah, I took a picture of it.
Wow.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if Wayne was like, oh yeah, I've never voted. And I'm like, so how you get to endorse somebody?
I tell you, money does something else.
I have so many questions. Like the amount of research to get to someone who has never voted, who cannot vote, who's not going to vote for you, but obviously could potentially. And if Weezy F Baby is swaying people on their vote, that's some other issues.
It's a bigger topic, though. It's a bigger topic around celebrity endorsements in politics.
Completely.
How do you guys?
Same thing when we see like Lady Gaga endorse somebody or Cardi B endorse somebody. You know what I mean? Although what I will say is that Cardi B has consistently been speaking about right across the board. This has been on the right side of history, but her being in this political game ain't nothing new. She's been talking about this shit for years. So, you know, it's very interesting to see the celebrity endorsements come out on the at the end, the tail end of the spectrum.
But why is that? Like, you know, Taylor Swift, another one, she just did it this week with endorsing Biden and Kamala. And then Beyonce, same thing. Like, why is it the week or days or a day before the election? Or is that something that we're counting on? Like, as a Beyonce, do you have to do that so people leave you alone?
I mean, remember when
you know, there's always a machine behind all of these things, right? So there's some good folks working behind the scenes, like really trying to like rally folks and get those endorsements where they think they matter. So shout outs to those folks working on campaigns that had an end to the Beyoncés and Lady Gagas of the world to get them on board. But yeah, they get, you know, they're considered like influencers, you know, the way we folks in entertainment work, where we're like, oh, we got to get that influencer to endorse us. They just, you know, don't take money to do it. But if one of your like homies who got some real clout call you and is like, yo, sis, I really need you to come out for this Biden concert that we have going on. If you trust that person enough, you could probably sway them to get that endorsement out of them. But I don't know, like no, it doesn't seem like anybody from the Trump campaign is calling Weezy or Kanye. Like, I don't think they're calling them. So that's why it's like, that seems a bit clownish to me.
So to me, it just looks like you're grasping at straws. Do I see, which this is also, this is a whole other conversation as well. It's kind of like, you know, celebrities speaking out on things that matter. So you could run the gamut of Black Lives Matter, politics. If they, you know, are not, I feel like, well versed and really, really care, like they're probably not. I don't work on any of those teams, but again, my assumption is also, I think it's gotten, first of all, worse, it's still, everything is so close, like nobody knows what's gonna happen. And so you kind of have to like, it's like spades, right? You play your spade at the end of the
play that spade.
Right. Trump card. No pun intended.
You don't play your spades at the beginning of a game, because it's also probably like, oh, I thought I was going to win. And now you down with your partner and you ain't got no damn books left. And now you're about to lose. And now it's like, and I think even for the celebrities, I feel like we're also seeing one, death to celebrity culture. Like, I just wish that would end. But I think we are seeing more of like a humanized side of celebrities tapping in, like someone like Beyonce of tapping in. Because that's what I was saying. Didn't she, what was the guy's name with the B that she didn't? Beto, that she didn't support. And they tried to make it seem like, this because she didn't support her local representative in Texas or whatever, that was the reason why he lost. And I think she did it like at night and they were like, oh, it was too late and stuff like that. It's like, again,
it's probably one of her people got it to her to like look at.
Yeah, it's like that's just like the fact that we're even leaning on that type of stuff. And that's why I said, if anybody is letting Lil Wayne influence them, like, what? That's
if anything, somebody should influence him to cut his dreads. So I'm not even having this conversation.
His hair's so unhealthy, God.
Dead ass hair.
Holding on real hard. But just one shout out to Beto O'Rourke and all the work that he's doing in Texas. Texas is at 110% of their.
They're having like 24-hour like poll, like you can vote for 24 hours in some locations.
Yeah, like it's crazy. You know, they just the Texas Supreme Court threw out the case that was trying to throw out the 127,000 ballots that came by way of drive-in voting, and that's a lot in part to the work that Beto O'Rourke has been doing down there. So he did not get that, you know, on that presidential ticket, but he has done so much work to drive turnout in Texas. Because I remember in 2016, somebody said that only like 30% of Texans voted, like the eligible voters in Texas came out to, it was like it might have been lower than that. Like it was a mind-blowing number.
And that's
like,
a huge state.
Right. That's literally what I was thinking.
With a lot of electoral
so many, like electoral college votes too. So much is riding on it. So like he set out to really drive turnout in Texas, and it's really paying off. Like I'm so impressed. Like
I'm just impressed with him. I think even his campaign he ran for what, Senate,
yeah,
his
against
I watched his documentary.
Cruz.
I think it was on HBO. He had a documentary, and just watching that, it was just like, wow, like you are really a grassroots like organizer, like in the community. Your wife, your kids, your wife is like managing the books and all of that. Like it's like a family effort, and it was beautiful to watch.
And his Spanish don't sound bad. Like,
it doesn't.
You know, whenever these people speak Spanish, you be like, "What kind of Spanish is that?" Like,
what was the old mayor of New York?
Remember they had the
Mike Bloomberg,
and they had the Blombito. What did the Twitter handle?
Buenos dias.
You're like, no quiero una bagel. You're like, ooh.
Like, Lord.
Oh my God. Cringy on the ears.
I would also be remiss if I didn't do a little PSA from my LGBTQIA plus community. If you have any friends that are a part of that community, myself included, hello. A lot of our rights are really like riding on this election, especially the transgender community. If you've just been watching the news recently, you know, the Trump administration has been doing things like trying to ban transgender men and women from homeless shelters, trying to get them kicked out of the military based off of gender identity, trying to get Affordable Care Act restrictions placed on them so that so that gender reassignment is not covered. So it's just all these things and attacks on that community that is just unwarranted. And we've had episodes talking about, you know, the killings of Black transgender women in particular. Yeah. And so, you know, if you have any friends or, you know, people that are part of that community, vote for what's right. Because obviously the right is not aligned with what we're, you know, our lives and our way of thinking. And gender and sexuality does not have to come into politics. We're all people. We're all equal. I know Biden talked a bit about passing an Equality Act that would basically get rid of all of these restrictions and things, especially as it pertains to the workplace. So that was my PSA. And
you know what I was thinking when you were saying that? Like, imagine in 1940 what they would have thought about 2020. And you would have thought we wouldn't be walking, we'd be having flying spaceships and shit.
Amazon's going to be the first person to do flying cars, by the way.
But you would think we'd be so much more advanced. And the fact that we are talking about equal rights for people, right? Let's just break it down to like the most basic human level. The fact that we are literally talking about the basic rights for people is so insane. People.
I think that Amy Barrett, people are excited about her coming on as well because they think she'll help overturn the equal marriage right.
Oh yeah,
Defund all this shit. I mean, defund the Constitution, defund the Electoral College, defund, abolish. What is another word synonymous?
Really need to
get the fuck.
Like,
so crazy. Like the fact that all these
hurting
beautiful couples.
This is what I'm asking of conservatives. Like, so you didn't have to get gay married. Nobody forced you to be gay married in this whole entire time, and I think your life is okay. So why do you care about
somebody else
to get married? Like, why do you care? I just don't understand. Like, why do you care?
them evangelistas or whatever the fuck them shit is, them people are. I also want to say, in addition to your PSA, Dee,
Okay.
a PSA for more specific local information as it pertains to California, because as a new California resident, I was introduced to our voting system of us having propositions where you directly vote on new laws, legislations, amendments to laws and whatnot. And so I had to do a lot of like deep diving into what is currently in place and what we are voting on. And one thing is really kind of crazy is just, restoring rights to people after they have been in the prison system. They still can't vote here in California. And we're voting on that now. Another one that's really big is the Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, them being, there was a lot of protesting in Oakland and San Francisco, in LA, for them to be hired as employees. They're independent contractors, and then this allows Lyft and Uber to protect more of the profit shares for their businesses and not have to pay benefits and things like that.
That is very controversial, and I'm on the side of the drivers.
And the interesting thing is, because they have all of this money, they're the ones who are running the ads on the TV, on TV, buying billboards with quote unquote drivers or actors saying that no, they want to keep things the way that they are, when that's not like the reality of it. So encouraging, there are a few other things on there, so I'm not going to like dive into it too much, but the propositions are really, really important. So if you are going into election day tomorrow, or today, blindly, at least try to pull up, on your phones, what the new acts and laws that we're voting on for the state of California, so that you're at least prepared on what these, what's currently in place and what the change could potentially be.
And one more thing, which I just found, I was reading my New York Times notes. Oregon and Washington, D.C. will vote on whether to ease restrictions on mushrooms. Who knew?
But like, what kind of restrictions?
People
being able to sell or grow, like what?
I did look, damn it, it don't say all that.
All right.
Arizona, Mississippi, Montana, New Jersey, and South Dakota will consider versions of marijuana legalization. But I
have to legalize coke next, guys.
Right? That's what I said. Here's the thing. I think I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. And there's an episode every time I watch Billions. Like, if there's something on there that comes up, it typically does come true. And there's the season that they're in right now. They took a hiatus, but the very first episode is about legalizing. What is that? What is the Ayahuasca. There's a whole thing about trying to get it FDA certified, and I was like, this is really about to become a real thing. So I don't know if it's like mushrooms first and then that next, and some type of
it might be, because it is all in the psychedelic family, and then the ayahuasca is like the grand dame.
I think it's like some type of controlled psychedelic.
Ashwagandha is the tea. My bad.
But they're trying to get to
that's the tea.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. It's probably, I don't know for all you stock people. I'm a huge ass conspiracy theorist, but I was like, let me start paying attention to this, because, like I said, it is literally like it takes up like 3 or 4 episodes of the show, and I just, like I said, because it's been so spot on, to me, it tells me that there's also a little bit of truth.
That's crazy, because ayahuasca, that's like the correct way to do that drug. It's like you need a shaman.
The scene literally opens with a shaman and the other guy, and there's obviously a bunch of political stuff involved, and they basically sway the shaman to go to the other side. That's why I said it's like 3. It's not even 1 episode. They don't.
What does one feel like on ayahuasca?
Well, you took mushrooms. Okay. This is like times 10, apparently. Like, it is a true, and it's a high that lasts, I think, over the span of like 8 to 12 hours. Oh, possibly longer.
Did you get to that part in Snowfall when they did it and they went?
I did. Yep. And you have like this true, like, external experience. Like, I've never taken it, but a close friend of mine has, and her hallucination like led her through the trauma in her bloodline, like her mother's trauma, her grandmother's trauma, her great grandmother's trauma. She saw it in visions when she was high, and was able. The kicker is she fact checked it with her mom after. And so it's supposed to
really
just
potent, I guess. And then
Yeah.
but the side effects are like, I mean, at least from TV, what I've seen, like
throwing up.
you're throwing up, like everybody throws up.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I don't want nothing that's gonna make me throw up.
I don't want nothing.
Yeah.
I ain't
But
done that in a long
mushrooms
time.
make me throw up too, though. So it's like kind of.
They made my stomach hurt. Like I woke up with such a bad like boo feeling in my stomach.
And ain't no ain't no worse feeling than your stomach
I had
hurt.
sour milk, and I didn't like that.
What we got here? Is there anything else?
Wait, well, you know, Biden does want to legalize weed. So if people are like, my vote doesn't count, you like weed, don't you? You like weed,
right?
Honestly, that needs to be something that goes to the Senate and just nationwide.
And then they need to amend and take all the people in jail who are fucking in jail for weed because
and expunge their records.
And expunge their records completely.
That
Hell, they
should
fucking need
happening.
reparations at this point.
That should be happening now, especially like in California. Like it's a business. California, Colorado, like those are businesses.
And the fact that obviously, right, and when you talk about the legalization of marijuana, it's run by all white people.
It's all white people. That's why I only buy my weed from the black people, the black dispensary. It's crazy.
Because to get the license, it's like an arm and a leg. I don't even know how much it costs, but I remember hearing that it's expensive to get this license.
It's incredibly expensive, and then there's some lost shit. I like started to look into it, and I was just like, oh, this is a lie, and I curbed it.
Yeah, then the books and like the cash only and the books, it's a lot that goes into it. There's a documentary on HBO about it. Unfortunately, I didn't finish it, but now this is reminding me to go back because, to your point, it is a white ran business.
Yeah.
What other hot button top line things? Because again, it's so much.
I think the big thing is, we are going to have our first Black female vice president, or just Black female in the White House in general. That came from an HBCU. Shout out to Howard, who's also an AKA. Shout out to the Divine Nine.
Yes. Love to see it. She Black as hell.
Okay. Jamaican and Indian descent.
And she's biracial. She's Indian too. Like she checks so many boxes. And
West Indian. Like
West Indian. Like from Oakland, so she's a Negro. Like
and had her campaign quarters in Baltimore. Shout out to that. When she was running for president.
Right here with just all of us talking.
Right?
Yeah. She literally connects with all of us.
With everybody. Yeah. She is every woman. Maybe it is all in her.
I mean,
that might need to be the name, girl. She is every woman.
Because you got to think about it too, is that Biden needed to pick a candidate to run with him that was going to be a bit younger and a bit more agile than him, because he's 78. And when he's elected, he will be the oldest sitting president ever. And so with that, he did have to pick someone, because if he's thinking about in the next 8 years, he's going to be 86. So, yeah.
Right.
Well, he definitely ain't going to run for a second term. He
cannot.
He's not doing that. He knows better.
Cannot. And probably, I mean, white man going white man, but
I'm like, he might.
If it's one thing white man going to do, it's white man.
If white man
did we talk about the election, the results, and when we would get that timeline?
No, we didn't.
No, we did not.
Okay, so let's close on that.
Okay. This is actually, something that I've been doing a lot of like educating to people about, because everybody's like really freaked out. And I'm like, yes, we love instant results because we've grown accustomed to that. But that's something that was just kind of like given to us by the media, probably like in, 70s. Everything bad happened in the 70s, apparently.
Everything.
Or important happened in the 70s. But with the advent of like television, we got accustomed to getting these results very quickly. But the election is never final on election night. And we hear 45 saying like, we need to know by midnight on election. I'm like, who's midnight, right? Midnight Eastern? Because if that's the case, like California and the whole West Coast,
they still voting.
And what is it? Alaska's still going, And so is Hawaii, who's like another, I can never get the time difference for Hawaii together, but like all like they're way, well behind us. So Hawaii's always still voting. So 12 o'clock midnight, that's just in his brain anyways. But a couple of other very key dates for people to keep in mind. The Electoral College meets on December 14th, 2020, to actually cast the official votes. So all the states, and each state has their own like date where they have to have all the votes counted and everything, you know, all lawsuits have to be done. So you can go look up and see like what your state is. Like some states are December 1st and, you know, others are maybe like a week after the election, but all the states they actually have until about like the first week of December to have everything resolved. Like lawsuits have to be resolved, all of that. And then the Electoral College meets on the 14th of December. And that is when the like official vote for the president is casted in accordance to what we all voted for, right? In accordance to what the popular vote was. And then January 6th, when the Congress comes back into session, they actually certify that election and then say so-and-so is president. So all that to say, the election is never final on that night. We have lived through some times where we didn't know that night. Bush v. Gore in 2000, which I was so mad that I couldn't vote. Like I turned 18 like a couple months later. So I was
That's actually another law that's a proposition that's on the California ballot to have
really?
people vote at 17. If you can vote in the presidential election, you can vote, or if you'll be old, I forget what it was. It's something like that. Sorry, but it's something that will allow 17-year-olds, basically your situation, to vote early or be able to vote if you were going to turn 18, I think like a couple months. Yeah, that year.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm in favor of this. Yes. That's a good one. Cause I really was very sad. Like I turned 18 like 3 months later and I'm like, dag, I actually like was 18 to watch the president be sworn in, but I wasn't 18 on election day.
Right.
But
and we are sitting on Al Gore's internet.
Right. On Al Gore's internet. Shout out to Al Gore. But yeah, we didn't know for like 36 days who the president was because Gore conceded that night, or maybe like the next day he conceded. And then once he realized that he needed to recount Florida, he took it back. And then they had to like battle it out in courts and they had to recount a bunch of counties in Florida. And it went all the way into the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court actually decided who the president was for that. So relax, folks. Like, I mean, I know I want this to be over. I want the Tangerine Man to be out of the White House as quickly as possible. But I would want every single vote to be counted in accordance with the law. So if that means I gotta wait a week or so and go to bed every night at like 7 o'clock because I don't want to watch the news.
And even if Joe Biden won by flying colors without all the votes being counted, that Tangerine Man is going to fight that shit tooth and nail. So we're not going to know tomorrow anyway.
No.
I think Artesia, I think it's literally going to go until January. Like even if it does become crystal clear that Joe Biden is the president, I do not foresee Donald Trump conceding without.
Remember, that was also a question during the debate. The first debate was conceding. Like the fact that we have to ask him what he would do if he had to concede is like already showing you that it's not going to be a smooth transition.
He said in a press conference today that he got the lawyers on deck. He got his lawyers on deck. So we already know what the fuck this shit about to be.
It's gonna be a fight. And I feel like Republicans and conservatives and libertarians, like everyone alike should want every single vote to be counted.
Yeah.
So I'm not even understanding the argument right now. Like, don't you want your vote to be counted? Because your vote could be thrown out. Like,
especially if you done stood in line for 4 to 5 hours, my shit better be the fuck counted because
well, I think they're talking about the mail-in votes.
Anything,
it's so many.
You stood in, anything.
And shout out to the states that let you know when they received your ballot and when it was counted. Shout out to those states because I know that my ballot was received and counted. So I feel good.
Told you, I still ain't even got mine. Like voter suppression. Okay, still have not got my ballot, and I made sure I submitted it before the deadline, and I never even got. My sister was like, "Did you get an email?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't get any email." She's like, "Yeah, you're not gonna get it."
Oh
So,
yeah.
yes. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
I didn't even get an update. I got nothing.
And I haven't even seen any stats about the percentage of people that submitted absentee ballots this year, because I'm sure it's a record as well and from previous years because of COVID. So you have to think about that too. And I even responded to somebody's story. I think Instagram story was like last Thursday, Friday, because they were doing an absentee ballot and like putting it on their stories. And was about to walk to the mailbox, and I was like, no. You need to go be dropping that off right now. Like, you don't need to be going to a mailbox.
No, absolutely. So obviously we'll still be talking about this, I'm sure, in the weeks to come. So there will be more to come.
Yeah, but I'm remaining hopeful. Remember those 5 affirmations I told you guys earlier in the podcast? But yeah, make the right decisions. Like, it's at this point, it comes down to fucking humanity and like caring for people, caring about our environment, and realizing that climate change is a real fucking thing. Yeah, I can go on and on, but I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
Ooh, well,
I mean, I actually have like the news on in the background right now, and I'm watching as they're like boarding up cities in preparation for what's going to happen tomorrow, and that's making me a little anxious. But like everything else we've had to endure in 2020, we just gonna have to get through it.
It basically, I mean, I think even the beauty of it is, I feel like before, like maybe if it wasn't COVID, I mean, like my parent company, they've been off, they were off for election day and we were off the day before. My company, we're just off the day of election day. But I've had so many calls that like in the middle of it, like every Zoom call today, it's like, wait, did you guys vote? Did who's doing what? Wait, what? And I think to be able to even have those conversations like 4 years ago, we never would have had that, and would be very taboo, and you kind of can't talk about it. So I think just even having that kind of openness to be able to discuss that, and like you said, all the things that we've gone through this year, it's like this year is just, it will go down in the history of just like one of the toughest years for everybody, but like D-Nice. But like this
literally everybody but D-Nice.
Otherwise, this year has just like completely like yanked everybody, and it's changed, I think, the way, like I said, even with work, with some workplaces at least, like the way that you can approach work and being able to be like, no, actually, this shit is so serious, we're giving you off to be able to go and vote. And like, you still work, but like, I know I'm gonna be in line during the time of my 15 calls tomorrow. So I now have like the liberty to go do that. And like I said, it's like we're all in it together. That's what it also does make it seem like.
It's true. And I think to that point, being in this 2020 pandemic craziness, we're all seeing what needs to happen, hopefully.
For sure. Who sang that? Need a little. I feel like it's like I need a little. I wish we had like a little ditty to go out on, like a little like song, like need a little bit more love, like a little like. Anywho, it would not be the Oprah Rose Show real quick if we did not have a little duality. And as I was like scrolling through the Twitters and whatnot, I kept seeing like people respond to this, and I was like, we just gonna go out on a little jokey joke, And the tweet that I saw was, this guy said, if y'all not appreciating a nigga for being faithful, what are y'all appreciating niggas for doing? Laugh out loud. How do y'all acknowledge his efforts?
What I gotta do with the election?
We're going out. We're off the election.
We off the election.
Off the election. I was like,
it was in your phone.
Yeah, I was like, I need you to pay attention. Thanks.
Is everybody off?
That was a trick question, but I had time to think about it while y'all were.
I'm like, what the hell?
I mean, you know what? I'm gonna play devil's advocate. No, you should not be appreciated for some shit you're supposed to be doing. You make a commitment to be in a relationship, you should be committed to that. However, in this gentleman's I don't want to say the word defense, but I can understand if he's arguing a point that men are enticed via, first of all, everyone is accessible. Men are enticed every fucking second that they fucking open Instagram and look at a new Fenty Savage Beauty ambassador. Like, it's just the way that we receive like information is so instant. You're connected with so many people at so many different points. It's like, damn, yeah, thank you, babe, for not answering that DM to that girl. Like, thank you for saying, you know, XYZ. Because this is your man probably not telling you about all of the encounters that he get from women. He probably not sharing that with you. So, you know, I can understand his argument. However, I don't think you should be appreciative for what you should be doing, because if you don't want to be faithful, then you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Okay. Well, that's that.
Like,
it's just my thoughts. But
no, okay. Initially, you know, I was like, fuck him. Is he crazy? Like, and I should get a thank you every time I cook. And every time I crack an egg, you better all hail my praises. Every time I put a little sprinkle some cheese on some eggs or some shit. Because like I think it's like a level of appreciation, but like for doing what you're supposed to do, like, no, you don't get that. But to your point, like I said, also, how do you know when someone is like not answering the DMs or not doing that?
That part,
you right. Like, it's what you're supposed to do. Like, it's something that, do we do shit that our partners probably wouldn't want us to see? Probably. Like, that if they saw some shit, they would get mad. But like, don't, and it's very easy to say that, like, okay, don't be in a relationship, you're gonna cheat or whatever, but like to be praised for doing something that you're supposed to be doing, I cannot, I literally
let me play devil's advocate now, child. So so in a relationship, do y'all, if your man does something like open the door, run you a bath water, just like does something like above and beyond, I guess, what he would normally do, do you like acknowledge that at all? Like say thank you?
Above and beyond, yes.
Well, what is considered above and beyond? And I said above and beyond because I said no bath water.
I say thank you for everything. That's just kind of really my thing. Like, if my sister took the garbage out, thank you for taking the garbage out. Like, that's how I was raised. So that's the extension of me. But I don't think everybody.
Okay, so
like
to
that.
your point, thank you to you is a commonality of courtessy and common
right.
sense, because you know common sense will get you far, baby, not a degree.
It's not common. But I mean, no, but going off of what you're saying, Dee, because I am a complicated lover, I really do appreciate when my partner has taken the time to speak my love language, right? Because I'm not one for like gifts per se, but you know, this quality time and acts of service thing be messing me up, because like, if you come in my house and you see all like the light bulbs are blown out and you took the time to change all the light bulbs, like I am beyond grateful. I will tell you that's the best.
Okay, so acts of service that's your shit.
That is my shit. Like I've been crying in my house because light bulbs are blown. And I'm like, can a man please come and change light bulbs?
Wow. You just said no, because acts of service is mine. That is not needy. Like someone being able, look, I'm all pointing my finger. I'm pointing my pen at there. Like we are very strong women. So having to do everything for yourself and you think for everybody all day long, to have somebody come in and do something for you that needed to be done that you did not ask them. Yes. Oh my God, I'll flip this whole table. That to me, it will go so much further than a Birkin.
So you want a mind reader. Got it.
What? No.
Just pay attention. Like, just know, like you said, like I do so much for myself already. And if you like notice that I am stretched really thin and you're like, hey babe, I went and picked up your stuff from the dry cleaner because you knew that I wasn't going to get to that. And I really needed my coat because it's cold.
So I have a question for the acts of service love language people. Do you say what it is that you like or what it is that you need? Because in your partner's defense, if they have a love language that is completely different from you, they may not be looking to see what you need. You know what I mean? Some people may prefer a more direct.
I do both.
Okay.
I am also with someone who doesn't really take hints, so I have to say things. But like for instance, I just moved into my apartment. If you see 16 boxes like that need to be set up, that's where I draw the line. I ain't setting up a motherfucker.
Okay.
So like for you to go and set up those boxes and literally just like have this shit set up, that to me, oh my God, I'm gonna be so unbelievably happy. So I am going to praise you and like say an extra thank you. Now, I'm not gonna lie, like when you said the thing about like opening doors, could I probably do better? Yeah, like because I probably have come into this idea that like, oh, that's what you should do.
Right.
But being faithful when that is something that, you know, we have discussed, or if you're in a relationship and that is your deal breaker, like you can't necessarily be mad at someone. I'm sorry, you can't necessarily praise someone for doing what they're supposed to do, i.e. being faithful. And I'm not saying that like you never, you know, say thank you to your woman if she cooks, right? Because it's like, well, that's what you're supposed to do or whatever. Like I think you can go a long way, but
Oh, it
for
goes a
being
long way.
faithful, and I think because that's not gender specific, like that is crazy. That is absolutely like, thanks for not sliding in that bitch's DMs. I really appreciate it. Like what?
But that's nothing to say though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing to say. It
The
costs
level
you
of
nothing.
the level of access is there. So it does come down to sometimes of being like, well, thank you for telling me about it at least, or like being honest about it. Because the level of access is there.
The
Like,
acts of service people over here. We don't know about
I love the acts of service people.
Yeah,
I'm words of affirmation. So I'm all about thank you and thank you.
Oh, see, I don't need like, you know, like there was a man that I dated who always rolled my blunts for me. Like always rolled a blunt for me. Like I would just like come home.
Damn, am I acts of service?
And I was just like, this is the most amazing thing ever. And like, I'm sure other people didn't understand. I'm like, if I came home
that's
from a
beautiful.
really stressful day, the last thing I wanted to do is roll my own blunt. And it would just be a blunt just waiting for me. And I'd be like,
I love that. And then y'all
see,
just
look, you're creaming over there. I'm telling you, it was the
not creaming.
Shut up.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I think now it's funny, you know, I was so like absolute on it, but I never ever.
I totally get your side. You absolutely have, and I saw all the women arguing about that tweet. You absolutely have an argument. I guess I can understand his angle.
No, but I never also factored in love languages to that, you know, because to me it's something that's so like I always be like, especially when you tell somebody what you need, right? And it's like fail an open book test. Are you dumb? Like I have literally given you the answer, said, hey, I need. Because I ain't that person. I'm not going to be like, well, I think you should just select this. No. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you Roman numeral 1. I'm going to give you A. I'm going to give you that tiny little one. I don't even know this, the like how the damn Roman numerals and all that shit goes.
How that break down.
But I'm giving you that. Like to the point where it's probably annoying because I don't even give you an opportunity to probably do some shit on your own because I've asked you 10 times already.
Right. And I think another thing to that though is unpacking what all is on his mind in general. Because I think if you miss cues and like you're not picking up on shit, like what else is going on that we probably need to talk about so that you can at least get this out the way so you can kind of focus on what's in front of you.
That's something that I'm learning daily.
That's all right. We learning and growing.
But it's true. Like I mean, even today I was like probably in a mood this morning and 6 was like, is everything all right? I was like, I'm actually fine, but I just have like in my Tierra language, a bunch of tabs open in my mind right now. And sometimes it literally just be that. And I have to close on my tabs to be present.
Oh no, I'm never present. I've realized that. And it's actually gotten worse. I'm like, okay, I gotta figure this out. It's progressively gotten worse and
then it's real. I think but sometimes when you're in a relationship, the other person or even friendship, sometimes the other person can identify when you are not present and it kind of helps.
So I ain't never present. So yeah, I'm like
I'm working on that with my love coach. So I'm never present either.
Wait, what's a love coach?
Oh, I have a life coach who specializes in matters of the heart,
Okay.
love and relationships.
We want to have her on the show.
Yeah, she's amazing. Like amazing. She's, she's like old, she's older, like 52, 53. She's been married 27 years. Very deeply spiritual, but like with it. And just the whole process has just been so enlightening for me and identifying the fact that I haven't been present. And that's why I'm attracting unavailable people, because I ain't available because I ain't present. And I was like, wow, man, this is good to know. But like,
and me.
Yeah. Like, wow. But it's been just so helpful in like my understanding of how important it is to be present, and not just like in your relationship or romantic relationships, present with your friends and present with your family. And I'm seeing how that not being present has led to like, kind of like incomplete relationships in a sense. So I'm working on it.
I mean, it's a give and take. I think if you're present in one area, you can't be 100% present in the other. I mean, if I'm speaking to my own self, I can't be 100% present in my relationship and then be 100% present with my friends and be 100% present with my family. It's just not going to work that way. Somebody going to get the short end of that spectrum.
Right. Yeah. That's the whole like work-life family balance, right?
Yeah.
Like all of it is competing for your time and your attention. And, a bitch like me be like, all right, I'm gonna just go pay attention to my money, because
you took the words. I was like,
my
focus lies. Took the
you
words.
Like, oh, you wilding right now? Let me go to my meeting, right? Because that's also a place of comfort, but I'm also learning how that's a bad behavior and can turn people off.
Yeah, I need to go to her clearly. There will literally be more on this.
I love how that tweet just spiraled into this, but welcome to the Oprah Rose Show, guys.
Basically. So, the quote of the day, just to kind of wrap it all up, no matter who wins the election, it will take abolition to create our future. No matter who wins this election, it will be up to you to create networks of care that sprawl across normative divisions. No matter who wins this election, it will be your duty to fight, to win, and to love one another. Assata Shakur.
Come on, Assata.
Shout out to her. And hey, Cuba. She's still there?
Oh, I thought, wait, I was like, Gooding Jr.? Oh, is she still in Cuba?
Shout out to Cuba, yeah.
Maybe. Then I heard somebody say that she was in New York. I also don't know where my copy is.
I think she's in the States.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Don't give me the line now.
Sorry.
Assata Shakur.
No, she's not in the States.
Oh,
she's still in Cuba. Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering if she was still there.
Yeah, she's in Cuba. That was actually like part of the like Trump trying to negotiate with Cuba. It's like, we'll leave y'all alone if y'all send her over. Some weird shit.
They still worry about her.
You know what?
Still worried about my sis.
Artesia, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some of your political expert punditcies.
Thank you. Remember, I'm a citizen of the world. I can speak on it all.
Yes.
I mean, you are.
You love a man that rolls your blunts, like duality
kind of girl.
I've missed you.
I forgot we were on the podcast. Sorry to the audience.
Duality, I love it. Okay, well, thank you.
And I also got used to Artesia being at our New Year's Eve functions. I don't know what we're gonna do this year, y'all.
I know what we doing.
Well, I'll be in Barbados. If anybody wants to come down, I'm spending a month in Barbados. Come on down.
Oh, okay. Let's
that's where you go. God damn it. I need the U.S. to run me my goddamn passport now.
Barbados.
I'm over here looking weak stateside.
Oh my gosh.
Barbados is open to the U.S.
Barbados is open.
Okay.
Artesia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Yo, you listening to the Oprah Rose Show with TT and Gigi, and yeah, get it poppin'.
Thoughts. Everything begins with thoughts.
She's a slut, she's a hoe, she's this, she's that.
We say to girls, you can have ambition, but not too much.
It's about people being uncomfortable with women owning their sexuality.
What is the truest, highest vision that you hold for yourself?
I'm a real ass bitch, and I'm gonna get everything that I'm gonna get all my